Hello guys, welcome back to the second part of this tutorial. If you haven't seen the first part, please check the previous video before this so that you can understand where we are coming from and what we've done so far. So this is the front part and the back part of the upper part of the jumpsuit. I've gone to iron my hairstay to it. Hairstay is very important because it makes your clothes more firm and it makes your sewing come out more neat and more good looking. So I'm going to add that to the back of this to the back of the upper part because we already added that to the front already. So I'm going to add that, and the measurement I'm using is 1/2 inch by 5 inches long. So I'll do that and let you guys see. I've gone to join the front part together. That says the center front and the sides. I've gone to join it together. Same thing as the parts I'm going to use to line it. I didn't gum hairstay to the lining because I just felt like it was going to be too bulky, so I didn't gum it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to add that to my breast cup. This makes it more firm at the upper part. And what I'm just going to be doing is using a 1/4 inch by 3 inches in so that it makes the upper part a bit firm. So I'm going to do that to both cups and then I will let you guys see. This is what my cup looks like. Can you guys see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach it to the front part, to the main fabric. Now there are several ways to attach this. You could tack it down. You can use hairstay to gum it. You can use gum to gum it together. But the best method, the method I use, is just to sew it just straight down. I'm going to make sure that the middle point stays where my breast point is, and I'm going to stitch it just a straight line in the middle. Having done that, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the yoke for the front and back. Remember that the front and back has yoke, and I'm not going to cut out the front and back yoke together because the back yoke, like I said in the previous video, is longer than the front yoke. So my front yoke, remember, we removed 6 inches, so I'm adding 1 extra inch. That is 1/2 inch for joining at the shoulder and 1/2 inch for joining it to the bustier part. So that makes it 7 inches. I'm going to measure my 7 inches and join it together. The next thing I'm going to do is to measure the shoulder measurement divided by 2. That is 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. And I added 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So that makes it easier for me. I'm going to do the same thing at the lower part also, so that it makes it straightforward. And I'm going to now insert my neck measurement. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The neck measurement is going for turtleneck is going to be 3 inches by 2.5 inches. That is 3 inches wide by 2.5 inches deep. Remember that turtleneck is always up on the neck. It's not a free neckline. So it has to be 3 inches by 2.5 inches, such that by the time we hold 1/2 inch at the shoulder and 1/2 inch at the other side, it becomes 2.5 inches by 2 inches. So that's basically it for the front part. For the back part, the length is 7 inches. The yoke length is 7 inches. I'm going to add an extra inch for joining at the shoulder and for joining it to the main fabric. So that makes it 8 inches. I'm going to measure my 8 inches all the way around, and I'm going to join it together just the usual way, the typical way that we do it. I'm going to join the lines together. Then after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and measure my shoulder. Now, remember that the shoulder measurement is 7.5 inches plus 1/2 inch sewing allowance. That makes it 8 inches. I'm going to add an extra inch for zipper allowance. That makes it 9 inches. So the shoulder measurement for back is going to be 9 inches. And I'm just going to mark it all the way down. Now, the neck measurement. Remember that we used 3 for the front neck measurements. So we are going to replicate. I made a mistake here. We're going to replicate it at the back, but we are going to add an extra inch for zipper allowance. So it's going to be 4 inches by 1 inch at the back. That's what it's going to be. I eventually corrected myself, but the back is going to be 4 inches by 1 inch. 1 inch being that the neck at the back is always up more than the neck at the front. You don't want the neck at the front to be choking you and not being able to breathe. So basically that's it for the neckline at the back. I'm just going to cut it out and I'm going to split it open. This is what it looks like after cutting it out and splitting it open. The next thing I'm going to do is to make sure that is to attach it to the back part. Now, attaching to the back part, at this point, you can decide to double your net for the yoke. You can decide to double it to make it look fuller or to line it. But I don't like lining sample nets. There's just this way it looks unnecessarily bulky, so I don't like it. So I'm just going to join the net yoke to the fabric like this, and I'm going to use the other fabric to cover it up and then turn it around. I'll show you guys. So here it is. Here's the final product. I've gone to join it together. Here's what it looks like. Can you guys see? putting it side by side on the back. This is what it looks like. So now I'm going to add my darts to the back part. Like I said earlier on, I didn't actually add the darts when I mentioned it earlier on. We just waited to join it together. But the measurement for the darts, what I just do for the back part is to fold it into two and then take my dart in from the center. That is by ½ inch, 5 inches. Now, this is the front part. I've not turned it yet. This is the front part after sewing my cup to the front part. So the part that the camera's kit that I didn't remember to show you guys was the part where I used hemming gum to stitch that, to gum down the center part so that it doesn't look pressed down. And I'm going to join the yoke to the front part also. I'm going to join the yoke like so, and I'm going to use the lining to cover it up. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to come back and show you guys. So having prepped the whole upper part, I'm going to just join it to the lower part. For the lower part, for the back part, I only joined where I'm going to add the zip. That is the crotch part. That was where I joined. So I'm going to make sure that the patterns match. I'm going to make sure that the upper part and the lower part match. And how I know that it matches is when the darts come together at the same place. You don't want your darts doing dilly-dallying up and down and not matching each other. So I'm going to join it together like this, and then I'll come back and show you guys. The back part has been joined by ½ inch. Can you see that the darts match at the back? So the front part also has also been joined by ½ inch. I always use ½ inch to join clothes. I mean, that's the recommended measurement. I've joined the front part by ½ inch also, and I've gone to weave the edges. I keep weaving my clothes as I'm sewing so that it makes it neat and I'm not weaving roughly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this place down a bit. I will measure my zip and know where my zipper is going to be. Then I'm going to stitch it down a bit before I join it to the frontal part. So this is it. The front and back have been joined together. Can you guys see how beautiful it looks? I've joined the front and back together on the sides all the way down. So the first thing I did that the camera didn't capture was I joined the front and back. I shaped the front and back together, measuring my bust, my waist, and my hip measurements. I remember that for the lower part, we added just ½ inch allowance, so it made it easier for me to join together. So I just went in by ½ inch on the lower part. And since our shoulders are joined also, the next thing I'm going to do is to measure the round neck so that I can know how many inches I'm going to use for my turtleneck. So now here's the fabric for the round neck. I've measured my round neck, and I'm using 2 inches high. That is 2 inches times 2, because I'm going to double the neck, so it makes it easier for me like this. So I'm measuring 2 inches already. Then I'm going to measure how many inches long the turtleneck is going to be. How many inches long? You can measure your client's neck round. You can measure your client's neck round, or you can measure it after you have joined the neck and the shoulder together. So it makes it easier for you. Remember that this place is a safe place for the easiest way out. So this is my 2 inches times 2. So I had to fold it to make it easier to understand. So this is my 2 inches times 2 by the round neck of the person of this particular fabric that I'm working with. I'm going to cut that out and let you guys know how I'm going to join it. Now let's join our turtleneck to the main neck. This is how I'm going to be joining it first. I'm going to be joining it the way we join our collar. So what I was explaining here was that I'm going to notch the center part, the center front. I folded it into 2. I'm going to notch the center front. I'm going to do the same thing on the turtleneck. I'm going to notch the center so that I don't miss it, and so that it doesn't mix match. So I'm going to join it the way we join our collar. If you've not seen the way we join our collar, please check 2 videos back, video of the shirt boo that I uploaded. So I'm going to pin the centers to each other. I'm going to just hold it together to make sure that it doesn't mix match like I said earlier on. I'm going to trace it all the way to the other edge and start joining from there. I'm going to join the first part first, that is right side facing right side. Please be very conscious of it. Make sure that it's right side facing the right side. I'm going to stitch it together, and I'm going to come back and show you guys. So it has been stitched together the first time. I hope you guys can see it. It has been stitched together, the right side facing the right side. The next thing I'm going to do is to use the remaining parts to cover it up. I'm going to fold it into 2, and then just fold the edge a little bit, and I'm going to sew on that line. Can you guys see? I hope the light is not too much for you guys to see it. I'm going to sew on this line. Just For some reasons, I can't find the remaining part of this video, but this is the final outcome of the jumpsuit. The only thing I did after I joined the turtleneck was to join the sleeves. The tail is a detachable tail. I just made it half yard by full length of the lace, and I just attached it with bra hook and eye. So that was the only thing I did after joining turtleneck. I hope you like this video, and I hope you are going to try this outfit out. Please let me know when you try it out so I can see. If you have any requests, please drop it in this video. Drop it under this video. Let me know. I'm going to sure do it. Or if you have any comments, please still drop it here. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. Don't forget to subscribe.